This is Mainstream Metaphysics with your host, Nick Newmont.
Well, hey there. It is Tuesday in Los Angeles. It's wherever you are, it's Tuesday. Hi, I'm Nick Newmont. Welcome to Mainstream Metaphysics right here on Conejo Valley Talk Radio and the Newmont Consciousness Network. It is good to be with you, and just like old days, way back like 5 years ago, joining me tonight is my wife, Audrey.
Hello.
It's good to have you tonight.
Good to be here.
And it is a special night. You'll see as we go on this evening, and lot to talk about tonight. Definitely a lot to talk about, and we're not rehearsed at all. We're just going to run with it.
We're winging it.
So hope everything is good in your life. You know, Audrey and I were talking about, and clients have been sharing this with me, that on April 25th, Mercury went direct, but we are still seeing like the residue from Mercury retrograde. And it's kind of like, I hate to say what's next, but geez.
I was just talking with somebody today. Is it still Mercury retrograde? Things are a mess. Yes.
I think we're jammed in Mercury retrograde. Oh my God. But we are in Pluto retrograde. That's been going on for about 5 days now. Pluto retrograde is good for repair. In Pluto retrograde, you go back and look and see what you need to change. What needs to be fixed. That's the best part of Pluto retrograde. So I guess we'll start with the announcements. We all of a sudden have a lot of events.
We do.
Coming up at the center, and some of these events, I think you'll have to talk about them, Audrey, whether they are in person only or are they remote viewing too. So the first one is
Karen Dilworth. She's going to be doing a Focus on Business Success workshop, and that's going to be this coming Thursday in live and on Zoom. So that is going to be an amazing one. So if you're not an entrepreneur, get that word out.
Entrepreneur?
Yes.
There we go.
If you're an entrepreneur, it's great. If you're in a business with people and you want to do better with your business, with working with people, it's great. She's interesting. She's a lot of fun, and she's been in the business world with success for a long time.
Yeah, she's very lively.
She is. Yeah. She'll make it fun and interesting, and you'll definitely level up your business. And then we have Inanna that's coming up on May 19th. That'll be from 1 to 4. And Inanna, on her last workshop that she did, was phenomenal. This woman is just a wealth of information, and she makes stuff happen. So she's going to be on my show tomorrow night on Conscious Mind Tripping, and we have something very special planned for you all. And I'm telling you, it'll level up your timeline for sure. So,
and last week, I mean, that my show with her, with Inanna last Tuesday was, what we did last Tuesday, it's going to go to another level tomorrow night on Audrey's show.
Yeah, that's what we intended. So Inanna, that's her name. She's going to be on it. It's going to be amazing. So for this workshop and on the different podcasts that we have her on. And then we have a full moon celebration at our home. So if you're in the area and would like to come, we do a full moon, like releasing. That's the thing for the full moon. You're letting go of things. And so we have a really good time when we do that. And people bring a dish and make it a potluck, and we just make it fun. So that's the next full moon, which will be on the 23rd of this month. It is a Thursday night.
Yes.
And then for the next thing, on May 31st, we have Sandra Cindy Bloom, who does past life regression. So she has a soul surfing through your past lives. This woman was on my show a couple of weeks ago, and she is another one. She is really, really good at what she does. So if you are interested in learning more and maybe having a moment where you do a past life regression with the group, it's going to be really good. So that'll be on the 31st from 6:30 till 9. Your turn.
And then we have, as we get into as we get into June, I've had a ton of requests to start Sentient Healing 101 again. And I'm expanding it. It's going to be a 12-week course plus a full day Saturday. So that hasn't gone out in email or Facebook promoted yet, but that will go out. And that starts Monday evening, June 3rd. And it goes all the way through August. So it's quite a commitment, but there's a lot of people saying, when are you teaching, the basic healing arts again?
And you make it so much fun.
Well, it needs to be fun. Otherwise it actually, because of all the lecture, it could get boring. It could get very dry, and I'm changing the format, and upgrading it again. Hi, Lisa Allen.
Lisa, we miss you too. Get your butt back in town and come do a workshop.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the Sentient Healing is coming. That, watch Facebook, or if you are on my contact list, you will get that. And then on June the 15th, our good friend Gary Stewart, who does constellation healing, will be at the center from 10 to 4.
That's always powerful. Yeah,
it's really good. Oh. If you haven't done constellation work with Gary, you've got to do it. It's mind-blowing how that plays out. And then the following Saturday, June 22nd, we have Merlin with Golden Arrow. Our dear friend Alexandra will be on live, at the center, July 13th, June 22nd, 11 to 4. Then next we have on July the 13th from 11 to 6, the Psychic Panel and Psychic Fair with Inanna from last week, and from 2 weeks ago, Gina Ann and Mary Elizabeth and myself. So there will be a panel, then we break into private rooms for private sessions.
Those are some of my favorite days. I love it when we do that.
Yeah, and the psychic panel, we just start to dig in and tap into whatever that's pertinent, whether it's for individuals or if it's on a global level. So, yes. And there is Alexandra saying hi. Hi, Alexandra.
Alexandra.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate that.
She's my go-to.
Yeah. Yeah, she said some very kind things about you in your show last week.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, it was really
I
nice.
love you, Alexandra. Looking forward to seeing you.
Then, on July the 20th, Focus on Success, the full-day workshop that we teach from ground up, and how to get out of your own way if you're not as successful as you want to be. And that's for anybody in any line of work. Okay? So, yeah, a lot of stuff coming up, and a lot of fun that we're looking forward to. So, as we sit here today, tonight is a new moon, 8/22 tonight on the West Coast, and it's the new moon in Taurus. And when I talk about this, I'm going to challenge you with tonight's new moon. And so, a new moon is when the moon is aligned with the sun, and it's a new lunar cycle. It's a lunation. And the new moon is really about starting a new habit, okay? We're all affected by it when the moon aligns with the sun, and we all have personal lunations, like in your chart when the moon aligns with the moon in your own chart. That's a day, like a kind of a power day, or when you would want to start something new. So because Taurus rules the second house in astrology, which is money that you earn, possessions, emotional attachments to money, and then, of course, what we call intrinsic values, what's important, what's necessary, what's essential. And so when the moon aligns with the sun in Taurus like this, what I encourage people to do is really look at, over the next, starting with tonight, over the next 2 weeks, instead of being very indulgent, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and there is an indulgent side to Venus, the planet of love and beauty. What can you do instead of spending money while the moon is in Taurus versus saving money. Okay? So, and especially as this new moon is aligned with Uranus, which is in Taurus, and Saturn, which is in Pisces at the moment. Here's the way I'm going to put this. Look at what's essential. So over the next 2 weeks, where some of you may go to Starbucks every morning, or feel the need to go buy a new shirt, or whatever it is, over the next 2 weeks, beginning with today, look at when you feel impulsive about something, stop yourself and say, no, I'm not going to do that, okay? And then look at how much money that is, like it's $4.75 at Starbucks, whatever.
Does this mean I can't be stocking up on my honey mamas?
Honey mamas are a type of confection that's sold at high-end places like Whole Foods.
It's healthy
very
chocolate.
healthy. Yeah, they're very healthy chocolates.
That's where I'm indulging these days. I've got a stack of them in the refrigerator.
Okay. You're pretty stocked up. So look at where look at an expenditure as if it really is a luxury. Take that amount of money over the next 2 weeks and put it aside and look at how many times you've looked at whatever that you wanted, a $80 sweatshirt, okay? Instead of getting that, take that money and put it aside. And for those of you that are in Starbucks every day, you're going to have 14 times whatever, that expenditure is. So really look at this, because what you do beginning tonight creates a new groove in your brain. When you go into new moon, it's the time of starting a new habit. And whatever you set your mind to tonight, tomorrow, because tomorrow's part of the new moon, that's what's going to be on your mind and what you manifest for the next 2 weeks. Most of the time when I talk about new moon, full moon, I kind of roll through it, and this is what sign it is, and what time it is. And the reason I want you to think about this is because in 2 weeks, when Audrey was talking about the full moon, that full moon is in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. And that's a very indulgent moon. It's the most indulgent moon. I'm born with a Sag moon. I'm a very indulgent person, right?
Right.
I don't have addictive behaviors, but I am indulgent. I like good things. So if you set yourself up from today and reel it in, when you get to the Sagittarius full moon, what you will reap at that point in time really is a nice stack of money.
And then you can indulge yourself.
Oh, yeah, then go out and spend it all over again. Jeez. Here. On honey mamas. Oh, my God. Anything else about that?
No.
Okay, good. Anyway, the idea at this, when I was writing this today and thinking about this, is where can you trim the fat? Seriously, where do you want to cut back? Like, for instance, like we've been talking about, we want some new furniture in that upstairs loft. So over the next 2 weeks, we're not doing that.
Yep. Interestingly enough, when you take out the Starbucks every day, you're literally also trimming the fat, because some of those drinks are full of sugar and stuff.
Right, exactly.
So if there's a part of it where you want to, drop a couple as well, so there you go.
Right.
A win-win.
Right. But it's not meant to be where you're denying yourself like Lent. It's not like you're giving up something. And in fact, if anything, you're gaining. You're not spending, but you're going to put that money away, and you'll have whatever you want that for. I mean, it's not going to be a huge amount unless you're going to go buy a car.
This starts tonight?
Yes.
Are we not going to the landing afterwards? Let's go home.
Most of the time, my guests are so well behaved and so informative. And Audrey, you can dress her up, but God, you can't put her on your show.
All right. We'll start ours tomorrow.
Jeez. My wife, I think I'll keep her. Jeez. By the way, speaking of females, please remember this coming Sunday is Mother's Day. Do something nice for whether it's your mother, your spouse, whoever, make it a lovely Mother's Day, please. Okay.
And then indulge the mother. Yes,
indulge the mother. All right, so I think we have taken care of that. All right. When it comes to the money part and the new moon in Taurus, it has a lot to do with, delving deeper into yourself in understanding maybe why you spend, if that's something that you need to curtail. I know one of our daughters could really work on that. Likes to spend.
I don't think it's just one of them.
Well, one more in particular.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of spending, this past Sunday we went to the Gem and Mineral Show down in Costa Mesa.
We should have brought a couple of those pieces. We got some beautiful things.
I'll do that next week. Going to do that next week, yes. So, for those of you who are crystal aficionados, we got Lemurian smoky quartz clusters.
They're stunning.
Deep, rich chocolate colored, but they're Lemurian vibration, which means it's a much higher vibration than a typical smoky quartz that would come from, say, Brazil. Okay? So we have those, and then also we got beautiful dioptase clusters. Dioptase is a heart stone, and it looks like emeralds. And they are gorgeous. We've already sold one piece.
They're gorgeous.
We still have a lovely selection of Herkimer diamonds, the quartz that comes from Herkimer, New York. We've got fluorite pieces.
Yeah, those
green
are beautiful
fluorite.
too.
Yeah,
and we have this stone. I don't know if I can catch
Labradorite.
The light. Labradorite.
Yeah, fresh
and
Labradorite.
This, I'm telling you, we got some pieces and they glow. They're just stunning.
Yeah. So we had fun.
Yeah. Oh, we had a very good time.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have some pink halite. That's neat.
Yes, that's the salt that comes from Cyril's Lake or Owen's Lake, in northern central California. Deep, deep, rich pink. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And they're little squares. It's so cool the way those grow.
Well, they're spongy. They're down in the water, and the way you bring the halite out, you have to go down and take it off the bottom of the lake and bring it up in the sun. Then it dries, and they're very exact salt cubes. And they also smell briny, too. Yeah, it's really neat.
It is.
So lots of new toys at the Newmont Center. And next week I am going to talk about crystals and things like that, but in 2 weeks from tonight, Cara Cialia, that does the Rasha machine, is going to be here on the show.
That'll be good.
Yeah. So, and a lot more guests coming. So, when we get into these periods like Mercury retrograde, that's so challenging, and especially this one that's in Aries, one of the things and Audrey and I are discovering with clients who don't even follow that people have been aggressive, argumentative, dismissive. People have been driving angry. Aries is ruled by Mars. So, and Mars is the original ruler of the 8th house before Pluto was discovered. And that's one of the things about the 8th house is the house of public conveyances. So you put Mercury in Aries, that means you're supposed to use common sense, when driving and doing things that have some kind of risk factor involved. I mean, we even discovered, within the realm of our family, there were a few glitches here and there that have come up, and things that, as I like to say, we have to stop what I'm doing and put out brush fires, in this past week, it was like, what, that didn't get taken care of, and what, that didn't get taken care of,
And we got in trouble 3 times. Not because of what we did, just for clarity. No, not going to go into the details, but it was like one of those weeks where it's like, seriously.
Yeah, 3 times a malady. M-A in parenthesis lady, 3 times a malady. Yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff is going on, and people in Mercury retrograde lose their mind a little bit. They become forgetful. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't get that. They're just not on top of things, and we still have another 10 days or so, roughly, of the residue of the post Mercury retrograde shadow.
That's what somebody was just asking me, and I said I think we're getting to the end of it, but there's 10 more days.
Well, you figure if Mercury went direct on the 25th of April, that put 5 days of the shadow in April. And then you have to go another 16 into May, okay? So figure by May 16th, we shouldn't be feeling, the Mercury retrograde effects.
So we all have to be what I say to Dakota. What's the word, Dakota? My little 4-year-old granddaughter. Patient.
Very patient.
Hi, Becca. Love ya.
Yep. So, and I've said to many clients that this is one of the worst Mercury retrogrades I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yep, absolutely.
I should come be a client.
You should schedule a reading with me. I'm good. God. So tonight, anything else? Any other announcements? Anything that you want to talk about?
I wanted to say one quick thing about Mother's Day. I gave one of my clients a homework assignment to write a letter to her daughters and to explain to them what it was like with her mother and her grandmother, and to give them a little bit of the history of it and why she is the grandmother that she is. And I thought it was a great opportunity to share in the ancestry a bit, and then she also put in some things, because she's talked about these daughters of hers in such a great way. It's like at the end of it, really express to them, how you appreciate, being a grandmother and what your daughters are doing with their children. And I think things like that, it's like people like to be appreciated. So maybe for Mother's Day, instead of just the obligatory card and you love so-and-so, maybe write a little something special about, in some way, shape, or form, appreciating, the parent, grandmother, mother, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to share that.
And at our center, we have appreciation candles.
Mm-hmm. But I think we just ran out, so we have
You
to
better
make some
some.
more people
Yeah.
want it for that.
One thing I want to bring up, and this is part of a variation of healing. This past weekend, Audrey and I went to see Craig Shoemaker, locally, and I saw Craig Shoemaker perform, back in 1996. So I've seen him many times. You and I have seen him.
Oh, yeah.
Many times. He has been at our center.
Well, he does the laughitation.
Right.
And we're talking with him about coming and doing that again, because it's such a fun way to ignite the healing process.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also going to be on our shows coming up. We already talked about that. And he has his own show that we will appear on.
But we were crying the other night. That was so funny. He's
yes.
hysterical.
He just blends his old material with new material, and he's really funny. I mean, we laughed so hard.
Do it.
What?
You know what?
Oh, the
Who were
machine
you?
gun? No, that's not going to be said.
Oh, come on.
Nope.
All right.
I'll tell you what she's referring to, but I'm not doing it. Is that Craig talks about when you're a kid, and when we were kids, back when we invented dirt, that instead of, Ed's back there laughing, instead of being on our phone, we would go out, we would play Army, right? Little kids, we either did have toy guns that made noise, or you just had to make the sound with your mouth, and so Craig goes into the audience to the guys. He doesn't do it to the women, but he goes to the guys, and you have to make a machine gun sound, and it's hysterical because he's going to make fun of no matter how good you are at making that sound.
So in front of this whole huge audience.
Right.
The one time he had done it before, you were Sprinkler Boy.
Because I went like a sprinkler, I know, Ed's back there laughing.
And then this time, what were you?
No, you're not saying that on this show. Yeah, I was laughing so hard I couldn't even get the sound to come out.
Oh my God,
right.
It was funny. I'm telling you, we were crying. If he comes to town, or if you're in another state, check him out, Craig
Another
Shoemaker.
state?
He goes all over the country.
Oh, I thought you meant into the fifth dimension.
That
You're
too.
in another state.
He'll put you in another state.
Right. Actually, the point that I was bringing is to laugh like that is so healthy.
Yeah.
It really is. And to have people in the audience and having a good time like that, and even after the show ended, because he does a meet and greet, like we need to do a meet and greet with Craig. We know him,
Right.
So it's just everybody was just in a good mood, and that was it. Yeah, it was at the Canyon Club, here in nearby Agora. So, one thing before I get into doing Merlin, Audrey, one thing about you is that as time has gone on, your abilities to bring information through have gotten very strong. You're definitely more precognitive. Your senses have gotten stronger. How you sense things about people or sense something, isn't right or whatever it is. But the interesting thing is when you're really bringing something forward, your eyes water.
I know. What is that?
I don't know.
You haven't fixed that. You do the energy work. You can fix these things.
That's just how you're feeling it emotionally.
It's been happening a lot more. Not that my eyes water in session, but I've been channeling a lot more in session. I just pick up stuff and I throw it in there.
Right.
Yeah, but my eyes do get a little watery and sometimes in there too. So.
But what I'm saying is that over time, with all the meditation that you do, your channels have opened up more.
Right.
And so that you don't advertise yourself as a channel or a medium or anything like that. But,
Tell you what really opens it up is exactly what I did today. When I go to nature, like I went to the beach for a couple hours today and I just had to. It was like Spirit was calling me and the low tide was going, so I sat my butt in a cave and I just vibed and it's like my eyes were pouring. And I got to say, it's just, if you want to open up and connect with what I call the first driver, source, intelligence, whatever you want to call it, that is one of the best ways to do it. Mama Gaia, the earth is it. So like on a day like today, I just am recharged.
Right. When you want to improve those skills, whether you call it precognitive, psychic, whatever you want to call it.
Clairs.
What?
The clairs.
Clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient. Yep, audient. You just have to allow yourself to be quiet and be still and commune. You step out of the three-dimensional world and be with, what is around you. Like, for instance, the other day, hi, Audie. Adriana.
That's why I was grinning. Audience.
Right.
Audie.
She'll be here all week. So when we were at, our daughter's house that had the baby boy recently, they were asking me, she and her husband were asking me how I felt about the energy in the house. And so I just kind of allowed myself to be, and I don't think you were in the room then, that I said, it felt pretty good, but I said, you've got something going on. You need to pay attention to your swimming pool. You've got a leak or something. You better call it in. And Isla started laughing. She goes, we have a guy coming tomorrow.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. I said, well, I just commune with the whole house. And then you don't know about this. I said to them, because they asked if their dog, TT, was around. I didn't sense that, and Isla wants to know about her grandfather. Okay, so I wasn't sensing anything, but I said, but there's someone that Cody would know, and I said it's a name like Barney or Benny or something like that. I knew it was a B name to end in the Y. So what you don't know is that the next day that Cody texted me that a man who used to live in that house they knew very well named Billy had died in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And that's what they sound like Dakota.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, so I just allow myself to be with the energy in the environment, and that's how that comes through.
That's cool.
You know, and like in our house, our one daughter is you know, sort of away at school, staying somewhere else most of the time, and something said to me, this was yesterday, to go into that area of our house where she lives. It's like a wing of the house, and go in there. And I sat down at, there's a bar in there. Of course, me sitting in a bar, of course. We used to own a bar in our house that we owned on Agora Hills. I don't mean I go to bars. I mean, I like it in a home
He
bar.
likes being a bartender. He's
Yes.
really good at it.
Yes. So anyway, so I sat there and I went to turn on the lamp, and nothing came on, and I went, well, that's weird, and I checked the plug, and like most of the lights weren't on, and so I called our landlord and said, hey, there's a problem. There's no lights in a lot of this area. And so the landlord, the one woman, she came today, and she started messing with things, and things came on, but we went in the bedroom, and it's a really good thing that I felt this, because the salt lamp that she has had, I guess, was left on, and it got toasty. Okay, there was a smell of smoke coming out of it, out of the light bulb.
It's important for people to get, those kind of things. People think sometimes, they're just supposed to stay on all the time. That's not accurate. If you're going to be gone for an extended period of time, like we turn everything off.
Right.
We turn off the fountains, all the things that we've got going on.
Right, exactly. So, but something said, yesterday, go in there.
Thank goodness.
Right. And of course the landlord came out today, wanted to see for herself what was going on. So look, sometimes is it insight? Is it divine intervention? Because if that had gone too far, that could have actually been a fire, if that would have been, more than what it was. So it's all good. But pay attention, and when you get an insight about it, don't slough it off, oh, that can't be, that wouldn't that. No, pay attention and check into it.
Yeah.
Because in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your insights or spirit speaking to you, listen, okay, and don't edit. Just whatever that message is that comes in, follow that. Follow the instinct, follow the thread, because there's something to that.
Yeah.
And I learned that a long time ago. Don't dismiss information. It's like, yeah, there's something here.
I think that's why we have such a usually very level sort of life. We follow those things.
Right, we do.
And then other people get us in trouble. Anyway, enough of all that.
Actions and
let's
consequences.
Chat.
It wasn't us. It's people around us.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Are you ready for Merlin?
I'm ready.
I think that's...
Are you ready? Are you
People at
guys
home?
online ready?
Ready for Merlin?
So if you have any questions, put it in the comments, and I will make sure that he gets to it. Unless, of course, there's too many, but I'll do my best.
And watch the clock go. Don't go more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to...
See you later.
Yep.
It's always fun. The energy in the room will shift, and I feel like this wave of energy. And again, if you see me blinking a lot, it's because there's a lot of energy going on here. And, that's something you have to experience in person.
Greetings, dear one.
Hello, Merlin.
Good to be with you.
Good to be with you, too.
Curious you are, dear one.
Always.
Many thoughts.
Yes.
Dear one, in your world, your earth where you reside, there are many questions, but many questions are in the minds of humans, but they are not using their mouth to ask the questions. This means that humans are beginning to think. Humans are beginning to ponder the truth of reality versus what is said casually or presented as intended truth, you see. Mankind is beginning to wake up. And it is not too late. There are some that think that we have, as Earth people, have gone too far. This is not true. The existence of man being a soul being hailing from source energy is meant to survive and thrive and move forward within the human existence to make strides and to create oneness and greatness so the generations following may thrive and coexist in an energy of what you say is love. There are many shifts taking place at this time on your planet in the energy fields that surround your planet and in the universe as a whole. Your minds as humans can only relate to, unless you are more, how you say, sophisticated, can relate to your existence in your day-to-day life, your three-dimensional world, yes. But humans are beginning to realize that there is much more. More to do, more to be, and life can be easier than what is thought. Humans have a tendency to get in their own way, just with their own thoughts. And when something doesn't work out to what they feel the result could be or should be, there is an immediate tendency to panic and fear that things are going badly or going wrong, you understand?
Yes.
It is important in this time that mankind regains true optimism and hope, and to think forwardly as to the life that he or she wishes to create. There must be a vision in the mind and in the mind's eye, as if you are within those metal vehicles looking through the glass, seeing your destination ahead. You must have this same kind of vision within your mind's eye, that there is a destination that you are getting closer and closer to. Do you see?
I do.
When mankind loses his vision, things become dark, and he cannot see in front of him. This is a time to open your eyes and see the light. See what is shining upon you and what is shining in front of you, so you may proceed on your path, moving toward your destination in oneness, in abundance, living the life you wish to live. Humans have a tendency to ask, what is the purpose? What was I meant to do? This is not answered by an outsider. That is in agreement between the human and his or her soul. The destination is marked on the soul. And when mankind stays connected to his soul, even though he is in physical form, there is an inner sense, an inner knowing that quietly guides him to his destination, you see.
Mm-hmm.
But mankind, for some time, has been distancing himself from his soul. And it is fear that has caused this. Man is questioning much of the validity of human behavior, what is right and what is wrong, but within the self of many not knowing what to do, what is allowable, what is not allowable. And the messages being broadcast by many humans are misdirecting the populace. Mixed signals are being given to lead man into decisions and aspects of life that are not mentally or emotionally healthy. And the ones who are bearing the brunt of this misleading are the youth. They are becoming confused. And it is by intention that they are confused. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
They are being miseducated on all fronts. From their institutions to what they encounter socially. Aspects of humankind are becoming acceptable that at one time you wouldn't thought that individuals would behave in such a way, you see.
Mm-hmm.
This shall change, dear one. What you see now is not what is to be. But those individuals who have made rash decisions about themselves will be seeking a way to reverse certain processes that have been damaging to their psyche. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, your world at this time seems, how you say, upside down. But it shall reverse and be proper and good once again. When the humans who watch the stars and, how you say, predict via the celestial bodies, they are speaking of aspects to come and some that have passed. Dear one, you must know that in the grand movement of the celestial bodies, it is not a moment that you are looking at. It is a gradual movement with momentum that creates the change. And many of you have a tendency to ask when. You may ask when it comes to the position of planets in relationship to each other and to man. But you must know that when is a much broader answer than what you think, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And when you wish divine timing, divine intervention to take place, you erase when. When you are existing and what you refer to is the higher dimensions beyond what you see in this physical reality. You are able to supersede the limitations of what you know to be laws of physics, you see.
Mm-hmm.
You need not ask when, dear one. You ask what. What are you creating? What are you wanting in your life? And when you allow yourself to embrace whatever that is, you shall own it, and it shall come to you as you create it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Humans are misled by timing. Humans have become enslaved to the concept of time. But when one wants to excel into consciousness, time is removed. It is not part of your world. And the more you focus on what, if you wish to be healthy, then you focus on what it takes to be healthy. And if time is not involved with your health, then you are ageless, you see. It is not how you look so much on the outside. It is the condition of what is in the inside. And you can, in your behavior, slow down what you refer to as the aging process.
I love that.
You see, time is, the way man perceives it, is not his friend. Keep your vision on what it is that you want. It's more fun to think of it that way. And when time becomes somewhat of an obstacle, then humans worry about time, as if to say they are so enslaved by time, making statements such as, I don't have enough time, I'm running out of time. As long as you are physically in this form, you have all the time you need. It doesn't matter at what point in your life, you see. Dear one, there are questions in your mind. You may speak.
Always have questions. You know, when you're talking about time, we're going to be talking about timelines tomorrow night with Inanna, and I think that it's fascinating to think that you can jump timelines. Can you talk a little bit about how that looks? And you kind of alluded to it just now, but can you embellish on that a little bit more?
Dear one, within the self, you know that you have what you call the power of choice. And as you make your choices, that moves you continuing in a forward direction, but in a different position. Do you understand? And therefore, as you, how you say, change your mind, you are moving on the timeline. You could say that is something that you want or somewhere you wish to be. When you change your mind in the present, and in the present there is no time, in the present there is no past, there is no future, you see. When you change your mind with the energy, the electricity of the brain, you engage into a different, how you say, position on your path. You may also, dear one, allow yourself to disengage from the limitation of time and keep your focus on the matters at hand and realize that time has not moved as much as you thought it would have by doing those activities. Dear one, in your consciousness, you are only aware of the being that you are in the brain that you have. But there are shadowy aspects of yourself in, how you say, parallel forms. As you are there are several of you, dear one, and all of you are making choices. There are times that you become aware of these other aspects of you, dear one, for you find yourself uncertain of a memory of being in a situation before, you see. And then your mind says, but I have not done this before. But you feel that you have. You have aligned yourself with one of the other forms of who you are.
Okay.
Dear one, as you exist in this form and how you refer to yourself and the life that you know you lead, there are many forms of you, or many humans call incarnations, and you are existing in many forms in many places in the galaxy simultaneously, dear one. So you, dear one, as your soul distributes you in physical forms all over the universe, you are in this moment traveling time. Do you understand?
I like it.
You are coexisting in many forms, in many places, in many times, all in the present. And that is why the concept of time throws most humans off, for it is great to ponder.
It is.
For there is only the present.
This is where the magic happens, right?
This is correct. For the past does not exist anymore, and the future is only your imagination.
You know what's crazy with us as humans? We've been taught to do this. I have so many people that focus on the past and the guilt and the shame and the remorse, and then they're in the moment and they're like, well, I don't know what I want for the future, or they don't think that they can get whatever their wildest dreams are. It's an interesting thing, you know? So how do people overcome that and be in that choice point?
Dear one, that question you ask is challenging for many humans, for how you are taught to be as a child creates your mindset, and one must learn to reverse what is determined not to be your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you are raised by a parent to be ethical and moral, there are belief systems that are imposed upon the child, whether in culture or creed or how you say religion. And if that is not your truth, you must unindoctrinate yourself and release those beliefs so that you can create the life that you want, you see.
Mm-hmm. And that's a process.
You have the ability to, how you say, jump time, but not in the manner as you are entertained as viewing on your box. Science fiction does not depict the truth of referring to, how you say, time travel. In fact, spirit sees what you watch on the box as somewhat as folly.
Again, that's how we get manipulated, right?
It's true.
You can't do these things. You don't have these machines, so you better just stay where you are.
Dear one, you are immersed in a world, a universe, that is so much more than what your eyes see. And humans, you ask questions about the non-physicals that are around you, and there are many spirits that go about their business just like as if you were walking down, how you say, a busy street.
Mm-hmm.
And there are non-earth beings that are around you all the time, and yet it is this mystery as to whether governmental bodies allow for the revelation of non-physical beings, not from this world, as to whether they exist. They have always been there, dear one. It's not a matter of all of a sudden there's these, how you call, extraterrestrials. They have always been on this world. They were here long before humans were. And why would they leave? They never did.
I think that it's been withheld from us. So are we in a moment where this is getting revealed, where the things that have been suppressed are coming to the surface?
Dear one, you will know that these beings exist. They are beginning to, uncloak themselves. But there are somewhat of a tear in the time frame of things. And that is why you must be careful when you navigate your steel beasts. Sometimes there are other beasts that are there, then they are not, and then they are there. Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. Mankind must be careful about how he uses these devices at this time.
That's interesting. Oh, Merlin, can you believe that the time is getting short?
There is no such thing as time.
But I'm looking at the clock here. And we have to have you bring back the vehicle.
Then I shall. It's been good being with you, dear one.
You too, Merlin. We will have you back again soon.
Oh, we shall speak again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Hello.
That was very interesting.
Thank you to everyone that's been watching. I do appreciate it. Yeah, you'll have to share when we go eat. You'll have to share with me what Merlin said.
Yeah. It was very interesting. You know, we're in such an interesting moment in time, you know, this choice point that we're in. And when we're here, we are so creative. And as we're all waking up, as we're all becoming more aware, more conscious, stepping out of fear and really owning our power to at least be calm and vision that future that we all want to create. That's exactly what he's talking about. So if you're finding yourself in this moment with all these things that are going on, if you're finding yourself in fear, you have no idea what the future holds. None of us do.
Right.
It's all playing out as we create it in our consciousness. So, like what he was saying, be in this choice point, in that magic moment.
Even in your chakras, you know, the cone-shaped devices that we have, and they look more like a cone, but your chakras contain your thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent, or fear, hopefully not. And at the top of the chakra, you know, because we do read the chakras in the energy sessions, there's the part that's up here is called the unformed future. All right? So even in the energetic body, you know, what's to come is not determined yet. So your future is not written yet. Okay? You make plans, you set intentions, you move forward with your life. Audrey and I were talking the other day, back when COVID came in March of 20, Audrey and I said, no, we're not shutting down. We're moving forward. In fact, not only did we move forward, we expanded several times since that point. So things can be dictated to you from the outside, and if you buy into the fear, then you will contract, you'll restrict yourself.
You're choosing a timeline.
And you're choosing a timeline. We chose a different timeline. We absolutely did. And it is with our thoughts. It's not just the magic of creating a device to travel time. It is, your thoughts move you along and the choices that you make. Right?
Right.
Okay.
I think it's 7 o'clock.
It is 7 o'clock. We have to go. I will be back next week. And obviously, since I was here tonight, softball season ended prematurely. So, well done, Westlake High School. You had a good year. Anyway, I will be back next week. And I think we're going to talk about crystals and be back in 2 weeks with Kara and the Rasha Machine. Audrey, thanks so much for coming on to my show.
Thank you. It was fun.
Good.
And look forward to seeing you all tomorrow with Inanna.
Yep. Tune in tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be a great show. I can't wait. All right, everyone, have a good night. And as always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a good night.
Good night.